Last question today is from Greg. Greg says, David, should there be more games in the NFL season? 16 games just doesn't seem like enough to figure out who the best teams really are. I got into football sort of later than a lot of other people because I came from Argentina. Unlike basketball and soccer and hockey, football is more difficult to understand merely by just turning it on. There are many rules. There are many situations that you have to understand. So I was a sort of late entrant into American football. One of the first things I wondered when I would look at the stats was 16 games. How can you even really say anything about which teams are the best when you have only 16 games? You could, because of just a very small thing, because of referees making some bad calls in just one or two games, end up well out of the playoffs when in reality you are one of the better teams, etc. So to start this conversation, I've always wondered, Lewis, why there are so few games in an NFL season.
Well, I think it starts with the nature of the sport. I mean, you can't have a 60-game season. Your entire team would be on the IR, and you can't play anymore.
The injured list, Lewis means.
Yes. So just by the brutal nature of the sport, Dave, you can't have that. It has to be a season where there are 16 games. I mean, could you have more? Could you say maybe we'll eliminate the preseason games and add an extra 2 games or something like that? Perhaps, but you get beat up enough as is. And I think I like the fact that there are 16 games because each game is so important. And I understand the arguments you just made, but it's still pretty clear to me that just about every season, assuming your players stay healthy, things can go bad. The best teams do end up having the best records. And
yeah, to some extent, but I think if a team is going to go 14-2, there's no question about that. A 14-2 team is very good, even if they won 1 or 2 of those games because of a freak play or some referee indiscretion or something like that. That's a very good team. But when I see that, a bunch of 9-7 teams, a couple 9-7 teams made the playoffs, and then 8-8 teams missed the playoffs, I have no confidence whatsoever that the 9-7 teams are really any significant amount better than the 8-8 teams, because we're talking about 1 out of 16 games here difference in their records. Yeah. So I don't even have confidence that the right teams are making it to the playoffs because of the 16 games.
All right. Well, in a case like that, yeah, when 2 teams have a similar record, one is slightly higher, okay, maybe there were some close games, maybe your quarterback had a bad day, maybe overall, perhaps you are the better team, and so that happens. But I think generally, there's plenty of parity in the NFL. I think, as we just saw, Dave, the Eagles just beat the Patriots. The Patriots are considered by many to be the best team in the league. Sure,
by you for sure, yeah.
But so and the Eagles considered to be a pretty bad team right now.
Absolutely.
So that can happen, but I don't think that adding more games to the season is going to be better for the players or for the organization. I mean, certainly it would generate more money, but I think that's about it.
I think at minimum, I would cut the number of preseason games from 4 to 2 and add 2 games to the NFL season. At least then you've got 18 games. And then my last thought on this is baseball plays 162 games. Basketball, I believe, plays 82 games. When you look at a basketball team and you see that they won 62 games, they went 62-20, that's no fluke. That is a very, very good team. If you look at a football team that is 10-6, for example, that may be a fantastic team that had bad luck in a couple games, or it may be a mediocre team that had good luck in a couple of games. You don't really know as much by looking at the records.
I guess I agree somewhat, yes. But I still think it's a system that works. And I'm fine with continuing the way things are.
Lewis stands behind the system, and he will continue to stand behind the system for as long as we have players willing to play football, which increasingly, with what we're learning about chronic traumatic encephalopathy and traumatic brain injury, it's a question mark as to how long exactly that will be, and that's a topic we've discussed many times. That's it for today. The bonus show is next. DavidPakman.com/membership is how you sign up for membership and get instant access to the bonus show. But before you go jumping all over DavidPakman.com/membership, I will remind you, if you go to davidpakman.com/calendar16, you can get a 2016 Patriot Mail calendar like the one I have here for free with your yearly membership. davidpakman.com/calendar16. We have a fantastic bonus show for you today.